Daily Broadside, day 374. Let me tell you about the time that I jumped out of a moving car. That's right, I jumped out of a moving car. Well, I didn't really jump. I tried to run beside it. Let me tell you what happened. I was like 16, 17 years old, and my buddy and I used to carpool to work every day after school. And it was his turn to drive. And the entire week, he had been driving most of that week, and the entire week I'd been studying how fast the car actually moves. And for some stupid ass reason, I got in my head that I could run alongside the car at low speeds, 15, 20 miles an hour, right? Now, this was before the internet, so I couldn't have Googled, like, how fast is the fastest human? I would have completely understood my folly at that point, but that was not in the cards. So a few times that week, I would, as he was going slower, slowing to a stop, I'd open the door and I'd kind of study the ground. I'm like, it doesn't look like it's moving that fast. I think I can keep up for a little ways. So we're discussing this. I bring up my plan, and he's immediately averse to this idea. He's like, that's dumb and that's not going to work. I don't think you can run that fast. I'm pretty sure no one can run that fast. And I'm like, and I was absolutely convinced that I could do it, And so we're in his car. It's a 1987 Mercury Lynx. All right, if you don't know what the Mercury Lynx was, it was a short-lived car that was basically an upscale Escort, Ford Escort. Phenomenal vehicle, 4-cylinder. It was white with like red interior, a little 5-speed, maybe a 4-speed, I don't remember. It was a tank. I mean, we did some dumb crap in that car, and we couldn't break it. But at any rate, this was the car that I chose to run beside. So one day we're riding to work. We're probably 2 miles from my house. Actually, no, I take it back. We were coming home from work, and we were within 2 miles of my house. So on the way home from work, I'm getting closer to the house. I'm running out of time, and I just, all of a sudden, I'm like, I think I can do it. And he's like, let's not do this. So, and I hadn't talked about it all day, and so he didn't know I'd been thinking about it again. And so he's like, are we back on this? I'm like, oh, we're back on this. So I proceed to open the door. Now, he was the kind of guy that, he would voice his opinion, but he realized that talking me out of stuff was not really worth the time. He would give his input, but at the end of the day, it was like, all right, here we go. I think you'll have to learn your lesson the hard way. So I open the door, and we're going maybe 15, 20 miles an hour, somewhere around in there. And I open the door, and I stand up, and I got, both of my feet on the door jamb. I got one hand on the roof and one hand on the car. I said, get it in a low gear. So he's in like second. I was like, just steady the speed. Keep it steady. I need it to be steady, as if that had anything to do with what was about to happen. And so he's like, please don't do this. And I'm like, I got this. I can do it. All right. You just keep the car moving. Like that. I just kept imploring him to like keep going. Okay. Don't stop regardless of what happens, kind of thing. Right. So I then lift my body weight up, and I'm now suspended in the air with my hand, one on the car door that's open and one on the roof. And I slowly start lowering myself down, and I begin to try to run. Immediately, I am done. Like, it's dragging me. I am holding on for dear life, but I'm still trying to like catch up. And, like I feel like, oh, this is just the bump in the road at the beginning. I can catch up. I can make this work, right? I didn't give up, right? I'm a little hard-headed. And so I'm running as fast as I can, and it's just dragging me. Finally, I realized that I can no longer hold on because my weight has now shifted to the ground, and I'm just being drugged by the car. And to his credit, he didn't slow down. I mean, that's what friends are for, you know what I mean? And he's looking at me like, dude, you all right? I'm like, just keep the car moving, and we're working. So, he probably drugged me for, I'd say probably 20, 30 yards before I realized that this was just an impossible task. And I don't remember if I let go or it let go of me, but I got detached from the vehicle and immediately went into a roll. He ran over part of my hand and or wrist, and somehow miraculously didn't crush it with the right rear tire. And I rolled off into a ditch, and I'm just laying there just completely disheveled and in pain because I had completely destroyed I was wearing jeans. I had completely destroyed all of my clothes. I looked like Richard Pryor in The Toy when he came out of that river. Ain't no piranha in this river, right? That's what I looked like. All my pants were just completely threadbare and destroyed. And I'm bleeding from like everywhere on my legs, just road rash as hard as you can believe, right? And so I look up, and there's this old black dude sitting on his porch, like right in front of where I ended up in the ditch. And he's just sitting there on the porch, doesn't get up, doesn't do nothing. He's like, man, you good? And I'm like, I'm all right. Just give him a thumbs up, and I'm just laying in the ditch. And I hear the whine, the shift go into reverse, and I hear the whine of the car backing up. He leans over and he opens the door, and he's like, what the hell did you just do? I'm like, I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't run with a car, not at that speed. And then I start thinking about how we could do it at a slower speed. I'm an idiot. And if you don't believe this story, he's on here somewhere, so he can probably comment if he sees this video. Oh, it happened, and it hurt. My mom was like, what in the hell happened to you? You know, just another day in the life. Hey, giddy up.